Welcome back. So clearly I am not in my normal place where I record these videos. I flew out to California this morning for my birthday, which is on Saturday, and my friend's wedding is also on Saturday out here in the Placerville area. So came out here to California for that, also hanging out with the family before Thanksgiving. So that is where these videos will be taking place here for the rest of the week. And I did have this whiteboard stashed in the closet of my old room just in case we had a situation like this with some news that we need to talk about. And of course, today we found out from Jeremy Elliott, actually last night, we found out from Jeremy Elliott about the Joker's Fund, the full breakdown of the Joker's Fund for the teams that are not part of the High Roller Club that we talked about last week here on the channel with High Limit Racing. These are the teams that do not have a franchise. If you did not know, the franchise is now called the High Roller Club. And so the teams that are not involved with that, this is the money that they will race for next year. I have known about this breakdown for quite some time. Obviously, it was classified information, did not want to release that to the public, but Jeremy Elliott has gotten the okay from the folks at High Limit to, let this news come out, let all these numbers come out. And a lot of people, I have to think, as far as race teams and drivers are looking at this thinking, wow, this is some pretty darn good money to not even be one of the High Roller Club members. This is just for the Joker's Fund, of course, and there's some great money up for grabs. So also did want to mention this, this comes out and we know a lot of people are waiting on what the World of Outlaws package is going to be for next year. I have heard from a couple of different sources that they are going to be bumping up the payouts for their championship as well. I thought that this news was going to come out after we found out what the numbers were for the Outlaws, but High Limit Racing, much like the schedule coming out, trying to get ahead of the game as well. And so a very strategic announcement here as well with this coming out before the Outlaws release their purse payouts for 2026. Really looking forward to seeing their response to not only the Joker's Fund, but also the High Roller Club as well. The Outlaws going to be stepping up their game, which is good for everybody involved in sprint car racing. Good for the guys that run for the Outlaws. They can get more money. Guys that run High Limit, of course, they're getting more money as well. So I thought that was also a very interesting tidbit that is also kind of thrown into this thing. It has been announced. Now everybody is waiting to see, as far when I say everybody, I mean the teams, the drivers, they are all waiting to see what the World of Outlaws are going to do and how much money they will pump into their championship for next season. So definitely a very interesting, side note going in with this announcement here today. So let's jump into it here. So the Joker's Fund is $1.2 million in money potentially out there for 8 teams to join the series. So there could be up to 18 teams running full-time with High Limit Racing next year. There is enough money for that to potentially happen with the series in 2026. So the first thing we'll look at here is the first Joker. I kind of like sitting down and doing these videos. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the sitting down? Maybe we'll have to change the way we do these videos. I kind of like sitting down. But anyways, the first Joker. So basically the highest finishing in the point standings driver that is not a part of the High Roller Club. This is what kind of money they will make. So let's just say, for example, Carson Macedo, we're using him as an example a lot here because there's a lot of chatter around him here the last couple of weeks. If Carson Macedo comes to High Limit Racing in 2026 and is able to win the championship, he will get $350,000. Now, that was not new news. We knew that from earlier on this week, or make that last week when the Joker's Fund was first announced. But we did not know what would happen if, let's say, Carson Macedo ran between 2nd to 4th in the point standings. If he does that next year, it is $300,000. And if you hear a dog or see a dog walking around the background, that is because there is a dog walking around in the background. So just letting you know, if you hear him prancing around, that's what's going on. Anyway, 2nd to 4th for the highest finishing Joker card member is $300,000. If Carson Macedo, for let's say, comes over, runs 5th to 8th position, so 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th in the point standings, he will get $200,000. And if he somehow runs 9th or worse in points, he would then get $100,000. So that is what is up for grabs if for the highest finishing Joker card member for 2026 with High Limit Racing. Now, what does it look like for the second highest finishing non-High Roller Club member? Let's say Carson Macedo, okay, he comes in and wins the championship. He gets the $350,000. But let's say Danny Sams comes in and he runs 3rd in points as the second highest finishing Joker card member. The second Joker looks like this. If a second car comes on and they run between second and eighth in the point standings, they will get $200,000 at the end of the season. If they run ninth or worse, let's say Danny Sams runs ninth or worse, he's the second highest finishing Joker card member. That is a $100,000 payday at the end of the season with High Limit Racing. Now, let's say Chase Randall is also coming back next year. I don't think that's confirmed yet, but let's just say, for an example, Chase Randall comes back, runs High Limit again, and he is the third highest finishing Joker member with the series. He runs between third and eighth in points. He will get $175,000 at the championship banquet. If he runs ninth or worse, it is $100,000. Then, now let's talk about Cy Lynch. Might as well, right? He ran last year. Maybe he'll come back and do it again. Cy Lynch, let's say he's the fourth highest finishing non-High Roller Club member. He's the fourth highest finishing Joker card member, and he runs between fourth and eighth in points. It is a $150,000 payday at the end of the season for Cy Lynch. If he runs between ninth and 13th, it is $100,000. And if he runs 14th or worse in the point standings, then it is $75,000 for Cy Lynch. Now, we have run out of examples. I have question marks over there, so let's just pick a random name and say, let's say Bryce Lucius decides to run High Limit Racing next year. He's the fifth highest finishing Joker card member. The most money that he could make as the fifth highest Joker card would be between fifth and eighth in points. He would get $140,000 for that. Ninth to 13th, he would get $100,000, and 14th or worse, he would get $75,000. And then for the sixth Joker, let's just say Anthony Macri decides to run High Limit Racing next year, and he's the sixth highest Joker member. If he runs between sixth and 13th in points, he would get $100,000. If he runs 14th or worse, he gets $75,000. And then there are the seventh and eighth Joker card members, because as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it can support up to 8 different teams to join the series next year. And there's no requirements you have to meet to get the seventh and eighth Joker card payout, except you must run every single race with High Limit Racing in 2026 to get a $50,000 check at the end of the year. That is for both the 7th and 8th Joker card holder members. So hopefully that makes some sense. But basically that's what's going on. Obviously, you're not going to see all these guys run first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all in a row, because you're going to have the High Roller Club members like Rico, like Tyler Courtney, Brent Marks, Justin Pack, Tanner Thorson. All those guys are going to be sprinkled in between these guys. And so, yeah, but it's still this is incredible money. I was talking to the guys on the Drivers Project a few weeks back. I mentioned, briefly a little bit on that show what this looked like and how good it was going to be. And I think people are probably blown away by the money that has come in and what this Joker Fund looks like. And, I told Jeremy Elliott about it a few weeks ago. I just mentioned that it was very good. I didn't tell him about the numbers or anything like that. I just told him that, hey, I think when this comes out, a lot of people are going to be surprised. And, from watching Jeremy's 99 this morning, it seems like he was pretty surprised by the numbers as well. So great stuff here from High Limit Racing, trying to give more money to more teams. Like I said, a potential of 18 teams could be supported with this series going into 2026. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that this will get maybe some guys that weren't thinking about being a national touring team to come over and run? Do you think this will get an extra outlaw guy to come over if we get one at all? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because I think this is a ton of money for these guys to go after. Even though they are not part of that High Roller Club, you had to have something for those guys outside of that top 10 in order for them to come over and want to support the series. And I think what they've got going on here, Brad Sweet, Flow Racing, Kyle Larson, everybody involved, they have put together an extremely good package for guys outside of that top 10. Looking forward to seeing what happens with this. Who is going to run the series next year? Will we get Danny Sams, Chase Randall, and Cy Lynch back with this announcement? Will we get more guys coming over with this announcement? We will have to wait and see. I would love to hear your thoughts down in that comment section below. And stay tuned for another video coming out later this week. I saw that Hank Davis is driving for Michael Dutcher Motorsports next year, and so we'll probably have a video out about him tomorrow or the next day here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you guys again here soon.